Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 12th of November. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we've come back literally yesterday in such a tight old range back to its daily 50 there, which it seems to be selling away from at the moment. These moves are pretty small at the moment. Yesterday obviously the US market very thin, and in fact even the European session was very thin. So where are we at the moment? Well, looking at this 4-hourly picture, and well, looks like we're continuation. It's lower highs, lower lows running through here still. Nothing's really changed, and really it looks like we could see a continuation to the downside. Now the days, these days are really pinned in terms of pivots, but we could see these broken. Now we had a bit of divergence on Friday there, a slight divergence. It popped up a bit yesterday, rolling it a little bit at the moment. It's not quite broken the earlier morning lows there, but could continue through to that. Now I mean, with this we could just continue to the south side. There is a weekly pivot up there at 1070. You can't see it's behind the monthly pivot. It's right bang in there. So any break of the highs, well, could see maybe a little bit more of a move towards them, but I'm not totally convinced here. At the moment, we've got news-wise today, we've got some 10 o'clock, we've got the German ZEW economic sentiment out there, which could affect the euro. And then we got an FOMC speaker at 10:30. So we do have a bit of news that might affect the euro there. Okay, but really it does look like more sidewards or downward action at the moment as it sits. Okay, the pound then. Okay, so pound, reasonable update yesterday on the basis of Nigel Farage from the Brexit party suggesting he won't contest any of the Conservative Party seats, and now it looks like he won't contest the marginals either, where there's not many votes between the Labour and Conservative, so looks like he's really pulling the pin there. Now seen things rally. I don't know how good newscasters and pollsters and everyone else are, but they suggest it won't make a massive amount of difference. Possibly. Well, we'll see. Anyway, there was the risk, and the market liked it. Some of the risk, they'd rather obviously a Conservative government than a Labour government, and because there may be a bit more certainty in terms of Brexit, may be done and dusted. Anyway, biggish rally yesterday relatively, but nothing when you compare to these previous days, but on a thin trading day it had quite an effect. Now where are we from here then? Well, it has rolled back somewhat. It does look a little bit on the softer side, and I do wonder if it will just roll through, but is into the daily pivot at the moment. The important thing I suppose this morning is to look and see if it breaks the trend line. Maybe as simple as drawing it across here. There we go. If it starts breaking through that sort of area there, maybe a bit more bullish back towards yesterday's highs, maybe the R1. Certainly possible, but if it pushes through this daily pivot, then I become a bit more bearish on the pound. But we do have news this morning that could affect it at 9:30. We've got the average earnings index, and that's the main figure people will be looking at, but the unemployment data as a whole at 9:30. So say the unemployment, but the employment data even. Right, okay, that's the pound. Yen, dollar yen. So the dollar yen yesterday strengthened on the basis of the concerns throughout the markets there a little bit, particularly in Asia. Given back those gains, the yen gave back the gains. It's been pushing back up there. US dollar gaining strength again here on the yen, and it looks like it's risk back on maybe. We'll see how far that takes us. Very choppy old markets, bottomed out here maybe. It really pulled back to the weekly pivot and then started pushing up later in the afternoon, or late afternoon, mid-afternoon, pushing up there. My overall thoughts is that the yen could still push to the upside fundamentally, but there is always that risk factor that may come through. A little more to be said here at the moment. Trade wise, well, if it does start selling off, maybe a break of the trend, could start seeing something happen, but it's already through its daily pivot R1. Not really that interested in it, so I'll step aside on that one. Aussie dollar though, let's have a look at that. Aussie dollar, weekly pivot still above. It's looking like it wants to. It's bouncing off its monthly pivot here. Maybe it wants a little bit more upside. There was lower highs, lower lows. You can see on this 4-hourly quite clearly. But sorry, if I come back to the dailies, up until that point it had been doing quite well, but it's whether or not it can put a base in here. Looking at the 60 minutes here, well, perhaps it's not looking quite so good. It's bounced right into its 60-minute 50. Maybe it will roll. If it can hold its own here, it's been through it before, but it's underneath. It's the first sort of retest. It hasn't really reacted too much to it by looks at the 6 o'clock bar. If it can push on through, maybe that could eventually get up towards that weekly pivot. Okay, Aussie dollar done. Canadian dollar is mainly been choppy. It's got a bit, I mean, yesterday was just horrendously choppy. We're sort of getting long choppy periods and a bit of price action. Daily pivot sits underneath that being tapped. Maybe it been looked a bit better for the upside, but overall it's more of a buyer than a seller. Dollar CAD. So New Zealand dollar, finally looking at the New Zealand dollar. Well, we got news coming through tomorrow, early hours through the Asian session there. So and it looks like there'll be a 0.25% cut in the New Zealand dollar. Well, that is well and truly priced into the market. So we'll just watch what happens. I've been looking to see if we could get a little picture push higher, but we'll see what happens. It's not there yet, but if it starts pushing back up, I would look to see if we get a bit of a change in sentiment there on the New Zealand dollar, but at the moment it's looking weak and the figures aren't particularly forecast to be great. So that's pretty much it. President Trump speaking 6 p.m. this evening, 5 p.m. this evening even, due to deliver brief remarks about the Economic Club of New York, okay, or at the Economic New Club of New York, right. So that's at 5 p.m. So maybe watch out for volatility later this afternoon. In fact, at 10:30, we got a, as I say, FOMC speaker due to deliver a speech entitled "Monetary Policy, Price Stability, and Bond Yields." Well, hey, that's okay. So he's speaking from Switzerland. That may create a bit of volatility. I think the last time he spoke, it didn't create much, but we'll see. That's pretty much it. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.